Hey, so you've seen the gut bomb bloodworm, or if you haven't, check out the link below. This is a new one that's balanced. You need to give it a try and see how we balance this one.
That's a big brown.
All right, so the idea behind this fly, just kind of the idea of the main gut bomb. If you want to see the video for that one, there's a link below. But this one uses a jig hook with these little Insta-Jig offset beads. And what happens is, because this is kind of this teardrop shape bead, it will somewhat balance in the water. So I've done really well on these, and I tend to do really well with most balanced style flies. So what we'll do is we'll just start off with the bead right behind the eye, and I usually put the bead on with the indented side of the hole facing forward. You'll know what I mean when you get a pack of these. All the materials are listed in the link below. Also, like and subscribe so we can make more videos. Okay, now that that's secured, I'm just going to go about halfway, and the first thing I'll tie in is the ribbing, and I use crystal flash for this one. It seems to work very well. Down to the bend. So now I'll use this scud back, or 1/8 inch clear, and this will form the body, and I just like to cut that a little bit at an angle so it can tie in a little with less bulk. Now the idea of this fly is it creates some dimension. This is going to be quite a bit thicker than some of the bloodworms you'll see, but that doesn't matter. And then I just try to even up the thread. And then the first couple wraps from the end we just want to make fairly tight, and then you're just going to overlap by 1/2 of a wrap as you go up. And then you can loosen some of that tension as you get closer. A couple of wraps behind and a couple in front as I tie this off. All right, so there's the body. You can see that has a little bit of dimension. When these chironomids, they go from larva to pupa, they will start to shuck that larval exoskeleton, I guess. And when they do that, it gets some gases in there, and I've seen them, like in this phase, they're going to be a little different color, of course, but we'll get to that. And so I think that's what the fish are keying on here. And now I'm just going to wrap my rib, and this is just going to give it a little bit more definition. Alright, and then just as a final step, I'll clean up the head a little bit as I need to, and whip finish. And that's the tying portion. Really simple fly. Very effective. I tend to fish this one on the bottom. Now, you can do this a couple different ways. Like, you could use the red scud back. In my case, I really like the dimension aspect of this fly. So I'm kind of creating more dimension that gives the appearance of that larva starting to change its phase. And they're red, they're super bright red in the beginning, and then they'll get a little silverish on them, and you can see that black gut in there as well. So I just used a Sharpie and colored that up, and again, more dimension. And now what I'll do is I'll just take some UV resin. You can use your whatever your favorite kind is. I tend to use the tack-free stuff like Loon. Fluorescing is probably my favorite. The Solarez is really good as well. The Bone Dry and the Bone Dry Plus. So whatever works for you. And then we just thin this out. All right, once I've got it to a point where it's coated with a really thin layer of the resin, it gives more dimension here. We'll go ahead and cure it, and it is ready to roll. So don't forget to like and subscribe. The material list is in the description below. You can find all the materials on our website, flyfishfood.com.